So, welcome everybody for the Demo Day in Leipzig today at the 5th of June. I'm very happy that so many people joined already the session, around 35 people, of course, including the panelists. We have an interesting program compiled. As you can see here, we have four presentations from interesting projects, and of course also startups, so products of startups. And we are very happy to hear the news from these projects and from these startups to present all the stuff to you, and hopefully for fruitful and ongoing projects that we will set up afterwards. And my friend and colleague Adamantius Kompis will say something about that. May I should introduce myself in the beginning. My name is Toraf Kirsten. I'm here the professor for medical data science at the University Hospital here in Leipzig. And we are working, as the name already says, on medical data. With medical data, we are also building infrastructures to work with medical data, to analyze the medical data from the patient care processes. And so we are in both on the way in both directions, more in the medical informatics and also in the data analysis. And we are quite happy to join and also to host the meeting today. And I will shift over to Alice, who will introduce something about the project Shift Hub.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the introduction. Also for me, a warm welcome. I'm very happy to have you all joining today for our second Shift Hub Demo Day. Yeah, my name is Alice and I work as a project manager at Steinbeis Europazentrum, and I'm also the coordinator of the project Shift Hub, which is organizing today's event. And so I will just quickly introduce the project to all of you so that you will know what's behind that. And then, of course, give the floor to the interesting demonstrations that we have planned for today and that we're all looking forward to hear. So yeah, some facts and figures about our project Shift Hub. Shift Hub is short for Smart Health Innovation and Future Technologies Hub, and it's a project that is planned for 3 years. The first year we spent mostly on building the services that I will talk about later. And so now on the second year, that's now also almost halfway over, we are focusing on implementing these services and involving the smart health community and organizing events like the one today. Our consortium is made up of 12 partners from 7 countries. I will introduce them on the next slide. And regarding money, Shift Hub is a project that is funded by the European Commission under the framework of Horizon Europe. It's a coordination and support action, and the budget is just under 2 million euros. So here is our consortium. In more detail, we have 3 universities as knowledge providers and research partners, 4 organizations that can be described as innovation intermediaries, bringing experience on how to support and connect the smart health stakeholders. We have 3 technology providers, making sure that we can implement or that we have the tools to implement the services and reach out to our stakeholders, and 2 partners specialized on some target groups, the Digital SME Alliance for SMEs and technology providers, and they are also kindly hosting, like online hosting the event today, so providing the infrastructure for that. thanks for that as well. And we have COPAC as a patient organization to represent this group of stakeholders in the project. Our main goal of the project is to facilitate the development, ensure the promotion, and foster the uptake of smart health tools. And let me just really quickly already go to the next slide to show you in detail what that means. This slide is an overview of the 4 pillars of our project activities that work towards this goal. So we are building and supporting the EU Smart Health community by bringing them together on a platform, community platform, in a focus group and at different events for networking. We also strive to involve citizens and patients to enable a co-creation process, and are also working on bridging gaps regarding digital health literacy. So we're providing learning materials and tools for that. We have some actions to ensure the sustainability of our project results, pitching them to policymakers, for example, to have a long-term impact, and supporting the uptake of digital health solutions by paving the way from a legislative side. For this, of course, we want to collect the input from the stakeholders. We have these focus group meetings, always for different topics, to gather some insights from the perspective of technology providers. The focus today, of course, is the support for smart health products. Support meaning for the development and uptake of smart health products. And today, for example, the focus is on the uptake of the solutions that will be presented later on, giving them visibility and showcasing them to practitioners, to healthcare professionals, or to end users, so that they see some solutions that are already out there and want to be used. And we also have some other event formats like open innovation workshops for co-creation and idea generation, or matchmaking events for networking to find partners for projects. So by showing you these services or these objectives that we have in the project, already becomes clear that ShiftHub is an opportunity for everybody in the field of smart health. And I want to especially focus on the groups that I think are the majority of today's audience. So tech providers, of course, we have the solutions that will be presented later on. So this event is for them an opportunity to showcase their solutions and to get in touch and network with members from the smart health community. But other services would support the product development. We also want to support technology providers to gain access to funding services, support them with getting public or private funding, and other services. Then we have the knowledge and infrastructure providers, so universities, research centers. The project's for you also an opportunity to find new partnerships, to find funding opportunities, to participate in matchmakings for finding project partners, or also to find partners to validate research in a new context or in a more reality-based context. And then also I want to introduce some services or opportunities for healthcare providers, health organizations. So at events like this and through our platform where we present existing smart health solutions, you can gain some insights into existing solutions, solutions that are under development, which you could test in your facility, support the development of these solutions. you can also learn about funding of opportunities and of course, like the others, find partners at matchmaking events, but also at open innovation workshops or living labs that we are organizing. You have the opportunity to express challenges that you face in your daily lives and are looking for solutions, so that solutions can be developed in a co-creation process. So we would be happy to welcome you to our community, keep you up to date about future events. So if you're interested in learning more about the project, be involved in future events, be informed about project activities, please consider becoming part of the community. You can find our website through this QR code where all the information is linked. We also have a LinkedIn account where we regularly share some updates. So we would be happy to have you on board and to further inform you about the project. So that's it from my side. Thank you for listening and learning about our project. I really hope you enjoy the following talks, the presentations from the solutions, from the startups, and I will now give the floor back to Toralf or Adamantius.
Yes.
I don't know who will be.
Thank you, Alice. Thank you, Alice, for this introduction of the Shift Hub project. It seems to be a very interesting project for connecting many people, not only the startups, but also let's say, the users of the solutions from the startups. And I don't want to talk too much, but we have an interesting program. I will hand over the floor to the next speaker. The next speaker is Dr. Ira Stroll. She is the CEO and the co-founder of and medical doctor of MyScrap, which is a startup according to text generation for the findings. And all the details will be introduced by Ira. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. First of all, I try to share my screen. I hope you can see it. So, can you give me a thumbs up if you see it? Okay,
yes.
Perfect. So, I have 25 minutes, and I think I start with my pitch, then we go through the demo, and in the end, you can ask questions if you want. So this is just my small agenda, and so I start with my pitch. 25% of all doctors in Germany are overworked and dissatisfied in their jobs. 25% of all doctors in Germany currently want to quit their jobs, and I was one of them 2 years ago. The main reason for this is the still missing digitalization of the medical documentation. And this in 2024. Of course, we have those hospital information systems, how they are called, but this is one of the systems I worked with. I think some of you might know this system, might recognize the screen. This is a system I couldn't really work with because when I started the visit rounds, I wanted to know why are the patients here? What are the diagnoses? What therapies have been done with the patients? And this is what I have to look up in mostly paper-based, which we worked with. And I cannot really see this on the screen. And when I'm on the visit rounds, I can't take digital notes. So I take my notes on paper. All the time I work with paper. And in the end, when the patients are discharged, I have to write a discharge letter. And so I spend up to 5 hours per day in front of a screen instead with patients. And I would really rather have spent this time with the patients. And this is the reason why I quit my job 2 years ago. And this is a dog who's very annoying. Sorry. And I quit my job, and together with my team, we developed the MyScribe app. And this is the first documentation system for doctors, which uses artificial intelligence to fully automate the discharge letter writing. So we built an own large language model, which creates text, which creates epichrisis for the discharge letter. And not just this, we brought the whole workload for doctors from paper to a mobile device, like a tablet, for example. So I show you some examples. We start with the patient admission. Patient comes to the hospital, and in most times the patients get paper with the anamnesia questions. They have to fill out these questions, and the doctors have to type in those questions in the computer. And now we provide digital questionnaires for the patients to fill out while they are waiting. And every question can be set by the doctors themselves. So we have a settings tool, and so I can create the questions that I want the patients to answer. And the same with the body exam. Body exam is something that I have to answer, but I just have to cross some things here. So my full workspace is on the mobile device, and I don't have to type in some texts anymore. And it's easier for me when I start working as a doctor, when I am led through this through those questionnaires. So I don't have to think about, oh, did I do everything that I have to do? I can just fill out everything that is questioned here. And the text is created in the end automatically and just goes right through the discharge letter. So if the patient goes stationary because they have to stay, I see this screen. And right now the screen is just in German because we are just on the German market right now. Our AI is just trained in German, but I can explain you a little bit. We here see all the important patient information that I have to know for the visit rounds to introduce these patients to my chief doctor, for example. So I see the symptoms, I see the diagnosis, why the patients are here, I see the therapies that we did. I can add course notes here, digital. I can add those notes while speaking into the tablet or typing in just little notes like pain tonight or just had fever. Yes, I can add to-dos for me and for the nurses, and I, for example, can see the vital signs if I want to see them. This is all customizable, so I can just decide what I want to see here on the screen. And after this, all information is digital in the hospital. So I can create a doctor's letter just while clicking on a button. And these are just screenshots, so you are not very excited about this because you say, okay, these are just screenshots. And for this reason, I think it makes sense to go in the demo version. So we can just jump right in if this link works. Yeah, it works. And here you see our demo version, and it's just a version that is working on our in our first hospital. It's the Bethanien
we
Klinikum
can't
in
see the
Mörs.
demo so far. Maybe you have to
Okay.
change the.
Thank you very much. Just have to search. Here. Can you see now?
Yes. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much. This is the demo working in our first hospital, in our reference hospital in Mörs, Bethanien Klinikum. They started with us in August last year. And we had a development cooperation right then, because they wanted to have an app like this, and we wanted to create the app customized for them to go on the German market. And we started in the gastroenterology, and so we just see the gastroenterological patients here. And if we click on them, we see all the stations where gastroenterological patients lie. So we see, of course, not just the normal stations, like if you see here the G3 with 12 rooms, or the E1 with 6 rooms. We also see Außenliege, patients who are not, this is a cardiological station, but they have one gastroenterological patient. So I don't forget the patients while the visit runs if I see them here on one screen. So it's like a to-do for me, visit all the patients in those stations today. And if we go here on the G3, for example, we see all the patients that lie there with the names, how long they are here. And these patients are very long here because we just freezed this demo server 3 months ago to show it with pseudonymized names to other people. So it's real patient data, but not the real patient names. And if I click on one patient, I just, like I mentioned in the screenshot, see the symptom, see the diagnosis, see the therapies. And if I want, I can add diagnosis here as well. We're connected to the ICD or OPS code catalog. I don't change it right now here because this is the real data. And I can add to-dos here for me and the nurses. I can add course notes. And here you can see some course notes are very long. Here, some doctors really do big documentation every day. And some course notes are very small. And this is everything that the AI has to work with. So the AI has to be very flexible. Which was very hard to train. We focused just on this problem for half a year, because in the beginning we just started with notes that I did in my working history, and I did very short notes. I was a lazy doctor. I was a urologist, but here in this gastroenterology, the doctors sometimes take really long notes, and the AI had to work with this, but I think we fixed this problem. Here I can see the vital signs if I want, just like blood pressure. I can also see temperature or weight if I want. And now I go on the actual case. And if I want, I can see the laboratory results, and I can mark some important things for me and for my colleagues. I can see the imaging results just for the visit rounds to see everything that I want with me, because we're connected via HL7 FHIR interfaces with the hospital information system. So all this information that we see here comes out of the hospital information system, out of the laboratory service, out of the imaging service, because we wanted that the doctors just need one device to work with. They just need their tablet or PC, it's a web app, to see MyScribe, and they see everything they have to see. So they don't have to log in different different solutions. So, and in the end, I can write the doctor's letter just with a click of a button. So here I see the doctor's letter. This is how it looks like, the discharge letter in the end. I think it looks familiar to you. Here you see laboratory, imaging results, and this is the epicrisis. I think this patient was here for 1 or 2 weeks, so the epicrisis is not very long. But if patients are here for 3-4 weeks, if many things happened while they were in the hospital, maybe they got blood products, they had an injury or something else, the epicrisis can be very long. This takes us very long time to write. And if I don't know the patient because I'm new on the station, I cannot really write this epicrisis, write what happened to the patient the last weeks, because I don't know this patient. So I sometimes ask the nurses what happened with this patient in the last week. Can I write in this epicrisis? Or I just write a very short epicrisis with very many things missing. And this is not good for the patient. things are missing in the doctor's letter. So here's the epicrisis written by AI using all the information that is in this hospital, using the diagnosis, the therapies, all my course notes that I and my colleagues took, using important laboratory results, imaging results, and writing a text which is, hopefully understandable by doctors and by patients. So sometimes it's a little disclaimer in this epicrisis to tell the patients what has been done with them while the hospital stay. Here is a settings tool where I can change some things in the discharge letter. I don't want this diagnosis, for example. I can add anamnesia text, body exam text. I'll show you the body exam right after this. And I can change something in the epicrisis. And everything that I change in this epicrisis is saved. And in the end, we do AI trainings. The trainings are held on premise in the hospitals because everything from my scribe is based in the hospital on hospital service on premise, just for data privacy. And we save the delta between the first generated epicrisis just by AI and the epicrisis that is sent out in the end from the doctors. So this is how the AI trains in the hospitals. And in the beginning, we do this trains weekly, later monthly, and sometimes after 5-6 months, the doctors say, okay, the epicrisis right now writes text as I want it. You don't have to do the training anymore. And then we can stop the training. Just for the body exam, which is missing here, I just cleaned it because I wanted to show you how the body exam works with our questionnaires. We go back, here is admission, and here are the anamnesia questions, which are just placeholder questions here, but the body exam questions, I can show to you here what I meant with workflow. So I do the body exam, and then I can just cross on what I see, or I take the normal status like them here. And if I save this and go back to the discharge letter, I see the text here. So it's just easier and faster. This is not AI working. Here is AI working in the epicrisis. This is just automation and saving time for doctors, making my work easier for me. This is the demo version. In the end, I can send the letter to my chief doctor. I am my chief doctor by myself, and I can start the releasing process. And in the end, if the discharge letter is released, it goes back to the hospital information system and is saved there, so no information gets lost while this. So I jump back to my presentation here. And now you see my presentation again, I hope.
Yes.
Okay. So the advantages are clear, but I think we can just quickly go through them again. We have structured data, which is very important. We don't have paper-based data anymore. We have structured data. This is important for research, of course, for controlling and for billing. That's attractive for hospitals. For me, the most important thing is that we have the data for research, because we really have to do more research in Germany. And we can't do research with PDF doctor's letters, where we have to get out the information by ourselves. So we here have the structured data on a clinical data repository, which we can right now start to work with. Very important too is we overcome language barriers. And this is a USP of MyScribe, because doctors don't have to generate sentences anymore. when they have a dictation solution with a microphone or something else, they also have to create sentences. So it's very hard for doctors from abroad to write those discharge letters or to speak those discharge letters. Here the AI works, and the AI work with just little notes, and the notes don't have to be in a very good German. They can be written a little bit wrong, easily, and the AI writes medical doctor's letters in the end. So we have a high quality of doctor's letters from the beginning, and we have equal opportunities, no matter where the doctor comes from. We have process optimization through our questionnaires and forms that we have, for example, for the admission. So we avoid human error. We have a complete documentation, a gapless documentation, because we are led through this workflow. We have an individual epicrisis writing, which is important. So we don't have text modules that we just said in every letter. Like I had the text module for prostate cancer, and everybody got the same doctor's letter, prostate cancer, but it was not individual. So many things were missing in these letters. Like I mentioned before, sometimes I missed that they had a bleeding after this and got blood products, and that's important things which should not be missing in doctor's letters. So we have an increased patient safety while using MyScribe. And the most important points for my colleagues and me is the time saving, up to 70%, which means hours per day, 3 to 4 hours, which we have now for our patients again. We can also have a greater economic efficiency. That's important for the hospitals to buy our solutions, but we also have more time for doctor training. So we have more satisfied staff, and a better patient care, which is my favorite point of this. I just mentioned the HL7 FHIR interfaces. So we need a clinical data repository in the hospital, in between the hospital information systems. Here are some you might know from CGM, Daedalus, Orbis, or Oracle Cerner. And on the other side is MyScribe for the medical documentation. So the doctors just have to work with MyScribe and don't really have to work with the hospital information systems anymore. But the information, like I mentioned, goes back to the hospital information systems, so nothing is lost. If you want to do research in your hospital, you can't really work with data in hospital information systems because it's a big problem. They don't have interfaces. You can't take out the informations. So it's very good to have a FHIR clinical data repository in between hospital information system and MyScribe, because this is data that you can use in your hospital. You can use for research. You can use to implement MyScribe, but not only MyScribe, also things for patients admission, for patient discharge, for billing, accounting. You can just work with your own data and don't have to work with the hospital information providers who want much money for everything, for every little interface. Just a little about our pricing. If you use the MyScribe app in your hospital, we charge €2 per discharge letter, which means €2 per case. €2 per patient in your hospital. If you know we have 20,000 patients a year, you can say, okay, €40,000 for MyScribe. That's easy. And we also charge €2 per bed per month for the AI training. If you want the AI training, if you want the AI be trained for your own, if you want to create your own ChatGPT, like I call it, it's not ChatGPT, of course, it's our own model. But if you want the customized AI, it's €2 per bed per month. So you can calculate how much the MyScribe solution would cost. We always start with a pilot, with a pilot case for 1 to 3 months. which is quite low priced, from 2,000 to 5,000, depending on how many doctors work in the pilot case. And so you can just see, okay, can my doctors work with this? Can I work with this if I'm a doctor? Do I like the text that the AI writes? And can I work with the AI training? I think you know the Hospital Futures Law, Krankenhauszukunftsgesetz. There are eligibility criteria, and 3 and 4 for documentation and for AI can be used for MyScribe. So our first hospitals took those money that they get from the Hospital Futures Law to finance our solution. Here are some prizes that we won, and this is almost my last screen, but I like the screen, so I can quickly go with you through the prizes. We won the Founders Prize in Mannheim last year, the Innovations Pitch of the Bitkom for our artificial intelligence, the third prize of the Elevator pitch from Baden-Württemberg. I won the Digital Female Leader Award last year. We are the Economy winners last year. German Medical Award, second prize for startups. The first prize from the Entscheiderfabrik and from the hospital IT club. The first prize as well for the startups. This is our team right now. We founded last year, so we are quite a small team, but I think for 1 year it's okay. We are 11 people that are not all people we have, but this are the full-time workers with MyScribe. Here, I don't know if you see my arrow. Can you see what I show? Okay, this is Lars, my CTO. He founded MyScribe together with me, and he just built this app for me because I came home as a doctor all time, and I said working is so hard. I hate it. I hate the documentation. And he is my husband, and he's a developer, and he just started building an app, and that's very cool. And we have many AI workers here with us too, software developers, marketing, and this is the dog that's working. We're walking behind me all the time. This is my name. You can get in contact with me all the time, and this is a QR code. If you scan it, you come to a little Google Drive folder where we have demo videos, and we have some technical detail forms if you want to see what you need in your hospital to implement MyScribe there. Thank you very much. I think now it's time for questions or later. I don't know.
We have 2 questions in the chat.
Yes, thank you, Ira, for the presentation. Very nice presentation. We have a couple of questions in the chat. The first question is given by George Dafulas. This AI system is CDSS, or is this AI system a CDSS according to medical device regulation? Does it need a certification as a medical device regulation?
It does not, because it just works like a secretary. It just writes down what happened in the hospital. It does not make suggestions for me as a doctor, like last time with this diagnosis you did this or this, and it just does not tell me what to do and suggest something for me. So it just types down what happened, like a secretary, and so we are not a medical device.
Okay, thank you. The second question is given by Vitalik Melnikov. And how do you measure performance of your AI model?
I think that's a very good question for my AI team. Because we have AI meetings every week, and they show me some graphs of our performance. And today we are quite as good as a chief doctor, and I don't really know what they use to measure this. But if you want, I can type down your email address, and my AI can answer you this question.
So I think Vitalik can directly get in contact with you, because you already published your email address. So I think that would be good to get in contact directly. Okay, thank you very much for this nice presentation, and having also the time to answer the questions at the end. Then we come to the next presentation, given by Vitalik Melnikov. He's the co-founder of Puret, and he also would like to present a talk about AI-powered search engine geared towards medical researchers. And Vitalik, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Let me share my screen. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
So do you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Then hello, everybody. My name is Vitalik Melnikov, so thank you for the invitation. I'm very happy and excited to be here. And I'm a co-founder of Puret, and with Puret, we are aiming to provide medical evidence in real time. And of course, as many things now today, powered by the AI. So let me start first with a short introduction. So maybe just a few words of caution from the very beginning. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't have a background in the medicine. I'm a computer scientist. So I'm finishing my PhD in machine learning. So the things I will say about medicine might be not entirely correct. So please feel free to correct me if you hear something odd. But here are some facts. So according to recent estimates, roughly the half of authorized drugs for serious illnesses are ineffective or even unsafe. So we are speaking about the United States, where the admission process is, of course, a bit different as here in Europe, but still, in my opinion, this number is alarming. And if you just think about it, so you have a serious disease, and not only you are treated by maybe an effective drug, which is not improving your health, but maybe this drug is even killing you or damaging your health. And how do people identify such drugs? So you need a lot of evidence to find those, and you have a lot of you need a lot of evidence to show that these drugs are ineffective. And in the medicine, there are different levels of evidence, I would say. So the best evidence people are speaking about is our so-called systematic reviews or meta-analysis as well. Then we have RCTs, or randomized control studies, and so on. And what is the systematic review? So basically, if you think you have a research question like, I don't know, is vitamin D helpful to prevent bone fractures or something like this? A very standard medical question. And of course, there are a lot of clinical studies regarding this question, but you know that a single clinical study might be not representing enough evidence, so it might be limited to a certain group of patients, or it might be even biased in some way. So, for instance, it might be funded by by a pharma company who wants to promote the drug, and so on. And what researchers are coming with is our so-called systematic review. So basically, you want to find all the relevant clinical trials, so all the primary evidence from the patient level studies, and then you want to aggregate them together to a new higher level study, which is called systematic reviews, and basically represents the consensus in the literature for a given research question. And to conduct such a systematic review is a long, a costly process, and it consists of different steps. So here in my presentation, I will be focusing only on 3 of them, like a search. So first we have to find all the relevant publications, or the primary publications. A second, screening, so-called title abstract screening, where we have to go through usually a very long list of potential candidates, like 10,000 or 20,000 of them. This is done manually, and then we find some relevant articles for our research question, and from those we have to read the full text, we have to extract the data, we have to assess the risk of bias, and so on. And there are estimates which are showing that this process to answer one research question with a systematic reviews, you need between 1 and 2 years on average, and the costs are above 150,000 euros. By the way, this is quite an old number nowadays. I think it's already 5 years old, so the current costs probably are over 200,000. And this is exactly what we want to improve. And we are creating with Purate, we are building on machine learning solutions which supports research in every step in this very long process. So first, we want to find relevant publications using a semantic search, more efficient, more faster, more relevant. And then by screening, which is a really time-consuming task, we want to support you. I will show you on the next slides how we do that. Data extraction can be also partially automated, but the very important thing is that our goal is not to replace the researchers, but to make them more faster, because nobody wants to do this very tedious work like screening. Nobody wants to, if you are a medical doctor, you don't want to sit in front of the computer for 3 months just to answer one single research question. And once again, so no matter how much support we will give by the AI or by the machine learning system, and we want that the final decision, the final check is always done by the researcher himself or herself. So the human is the one in control here. And we are estimating that with Purate, with our solution, we can increase the efficiency, the time efficiency, for instance, of this process by at least 50%. So then you can calculate how much money you can save by applying this. And for this presentation, I would like to go into the screening step a bit closer. So I will show you how the current solution looks like on the next slide. Once again, what is the problem here? The screening is the second biggest step in the systematic review process. So during the search phase, you have identified a usually very long list of relevant public or possibly relevant publications. So not untypical are lists of up to 20,000 possible candidates. And what we have to do during the screening, so it's called, once again, title abstract screening. So we need at least one researchers, usually 2 independent or even more, who are looking at every title and abstract and are deciding whether this potential candidate, this publication, is relevant for the research question or not. And this is how our current solution looks like. So for the user, for the researcher, it's just a normal web page where you can go with your browser, so from your computer. You don't need any complex or hardware. And what we see here is this, once again, the screening step. So in the center, you see the essence of the task you have to solve here. So on the top in the center, you see a publication, an example publication. So you see the title, you see the abstract, you see the author. So you can click on the link, you can go to the full text and so on. And on the bottom, you see your project goal. So usually this is the research question you want to answer with the systematic review. These are the inclusion and exclusion criteria. And given this information, so normally without any AI support, you will have to decide whether this particular paper here in the center is relevant for your research question, is relevant, or you can skip it because maybe you don't have enough information right now. On the left side, we see some usual project management tools. I guess they are not so interesting, so we don't have to go to them into the details. More interesting is, of course, the right part, so the AI, so what we call the copilot right now. And what we see here are currently 3 boxes. So the top box is regards the current publication. And what we see here is a kind of artificial score. So the system is providing or giving a score to this particular publication. So the current score is 89 of 100. So it means that the system thinks that it is a highly relevant publication for your research question. The system, the copilot, is also confident, because the score is just one estimate, and you would like to know how usually how confident is the system about this decision. And of course, given this data, you can provide also a suggestion automatically, and the suggestion is yes here, so you should consider this publication as relevant for your research. But once again, the final decision is made by humans, so the researcher have to decide here where to click. And if you click on this box here, you can see some additional information, and what we find really helpful is the called of semantic type of semantic highlighting, that we are trying to match the information from the research question or from your exclusion and inclusion criteria with the title and abstract here. So, like for instance, our goal was to find studies related to vitamin D, and of course we also see here that that the current study, so the current publication we are looking at, also is something about the vitamin D. And important thing to mention here that this is not only a syntactical highlighting, syntactical check, that we are also capable of looking a bit more into the semantics, like I don't know, for instance, here an example of trauma fractures, and we can highlight this because we are looking at any fractures in our research question. So this is how this first AI system works, what we are suggesting. So how can you use it? Yeah, of course, highlighting is nice. It can help you to decide quicker whether the study is relevant or not. Yeah, but the main advantage will come from the next step. So if you are able to give a score to every publication in your very long list, so once again, you have maybe 20,000 publications to screen, usually with 2 persons. And so the highlighting will not be enough here. But if you can give a score to every publication, then you can rank your list or order your list based on this information, based on this score. And this is exactly what is done here in the second box, so which we call AI screening. And what we see here is a graph which explains very well how AI is saving your time. So basically what we are looking at here at 2 axes. So on the x-axis, we have a number of screening candidates. So in this particular example, we have roughly 4,000 publication title abstracts we have to screen. And on the y-axis, we have the relevant studies for. So the relevant from the 4,000, so many are relevant. And this graph is actually very simple. So if your list is not sorted in any way, so if you don't apply any machine learning or AI here, then you know that your relevant publications are roughly equally distributed. So you expect them to find everywhere in your list. So in the beginning, at the end, and so on, the middle, everywhere. So when you screen at random, you will probably have something like here on the diagonal. But if you apply this scoring system, so if you allow the computer to give scores to your publications to try to estimate the relevance of your of the candidates, then you can sort the list, and then you will see something like this, where you will go very quick up at the beginning. So it means that the first candidate you screen, so maybe first 500 candidates will be relevant, and afterwards the most of the remaining one will probably be irrelevant. Of course, this is a kind of ideal situation, because in this case, I was able to recognize all of the relevant studies very quickly. This is not always the case, but still, you can see that the difference is huge. It means that, for instance, here in this particular example, we can say we will screen manually only first 2,000 publications, for instance, the half, and leave out the remaining ones. Yeah, so we already cut our working time in 2 here. Or we can say that we maybe screen with 2 persons independently with first half, and the last half will be screened only by 1 person. And how does it work? So how our AI system is able to do that? So we are looking, of course, we need some input data. And what we are considering here is that, of course, the title abstract itself, the current objectives, so inclusion, exclusion criteria, and so on. But of course, your decision. So because we want this, the system learns from you, from your decisions, and improve also over time. So these are the two major features we are offering right now. So we have, of course, some kind of a model health bar here. So we are, I mean, these are more technical details, which are, I would say, not relevant for the research or medical research or life science research, but you can basically control the AI model here in greater details. So who are we? We are currently a team of 3 persons, so Carlson, Shahin, and myself. So Carlson and I, we are finishing our PhD in machine learning here at Paderborn University. Shahin is a Wirtschaftsinformatiker who is more responsible for the business side of things. Carlson and I are responsible for AI, obviously, and from the product development, so also for the front end, because we don't have another person right now. We have started quite recently. We are currently funded by the NRW Startup Transfer Program. And yeah, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And especially if you are working in the field and if you are conducting systematical reviews and if you are interested in the collaboration, please don't hesitate to contact me as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vitalik, for this very interesting talk about your solution, your product you're offering. Are there any questions from the auditory? So I had a look to the chat and there is no questions available. And we are now at the fourth talk. The fourth talk is about a CDSS, a clinical decision support system called AMPEL. And the talk is given by Dr. Daniel Steinbach, the head of AI in the development, and me, the technical head. Yeah, maybe we should start. Daniel, would you please introduce first, and then we can also go on.
So, well, first of all, is it displayed? Can you see it?
Yes.
The presentation. Okay, nice. Yeah, well, I'm today a sparring partner from the medical view. I'm a physician and a team member of our AMPEL. What is AMPEL? It's a clinical decision support system, CDSS, sometimes shortened up in CDS. You can find this too. And it takes data, analyzes it with models, with AI models, and then give hints and alerts to the clinicians to help in patient care. So in contrast to the other 3 solutions before, this is a medical device software, or as it was called in the past, medical product. Let's dive into it. So we have 2 major algorithms in it, or 2 major approaches. The first is a rule-based approach, very classical if-then. This aims especially for guidelines. We have a lot of them in the medical sector, and aims for patient safety, so that every patient gets the therapy and the diagnostic he or she should have. And the second one is a more AI thing with machine learning models, which we hadn't before. So these models aim more to diagnostic innovation. However, they can increase patient safety too. Often we are asked if we want to replace somebody, if we want to replace a nurse or a physician. And so I started to get this slide into our presentations, just to be clear. The physician or the nursing staff has already some tools to do their job. They have information there. They can do some research here, and they have diagnostics and so on. And they take all this together to make their decisions. And we, from the AMPL system, we want to be one another tool in this toolbox. So our aim is to make it very easy and understandable to use AI models in clinical practice. This is our wall of fame. This is about what we have done the last years. We started 2018 in December 2018, I have to admit, but well, yeah, we have some years of experience where we developed, I think, 13 models so far, and we did a lot of research about it. And the last year we alerted more than 6,000 patients. We are Europe's only academic CDSS in routine care. What does it mean? We fulfill two functions. We do the research and the routine care. So this is very unique in Europe. And we are Germany's leading CDSS in terms of scope and evidence. This means nobody has more models or research done as our project than our project. Our features, in short, we do a real-time monitoring. We talk about seconds. We have traceable data streams. This is important because we saw that hospital information systems overwrite data, and it can be that you can't look back to this time point. So we create screenshots of data for each alert. And then we are machine learning ready. We already showed evidenced increase in patient safety. This year, we started to be an open source initiative. We already published some libraries and models, and we will follow this path until we have a whole open source medical device software, which is open and transparent and helps us to do research as we wish. And the most important thing here, and this is why it gets a whole column on the right, is that we are able to translate research straight into routine. This was a big topic, or is a big topic in medical informatics, that the research mostly stops at one point in the middle, and the patient never experienced the advantages of the found results. So now it is possible to research a model, an AI model, and if you have or if you have done your job good, then you have some positive results in it, and it's just one click, and the whole clinic can use it. This was my part so far. I will head over the virtual microphone to Thoralf for more details.
Yes, thank you, Daniel. So while this is a very not only interesting but also very effective collaboration with people from the clinic. So Daniel is a medical doctor. I forgot that to say in the beginning, and I'm a computer scientist. So we have a very, very fruitful and successful collaboration with them. But we also have learned something in recent years. So we started a collaboration with an industry partner in the beginning. It was a funded research project, and in which we worked on specific alarm algorithms for different medical endpoints, which Daniel has introduced in a way. And the company, so the industry partner, also designed and implemented an infrastructure in the background, mostly directly included in the SAP infrastructure. You probably know the SAP ESH-made system, or the module ESH-made, which is a part of the SAP system attached to that, and takes, let's say, the EHR, so the patient information system, or the clinical patient information system in SAP. During this funded project, we worked on 10 algorithms with with specific endpoints, medical endpoints, and just a single algorithm for classification of sepsis. However, this infrastructure was very tightly integrated into the ESA-MED SAP system, and there is no opportunity to integrate AI-based arguments. You only can create or integrate rule-based systems or rule-based algorithms into the system. It was not possible to integrate AI-based algorithms for that. So therefore, it was an imitation, and we also had a long discussion with a industry partner because the industry was not focusing on the MDR certification, so medical device regulation for this system. And that brings us to the point to redesign the system. Next slide. Yeah. To create a version 2 that takes the data in real time, the clinical data, the captured data in real time, and to use this data, this captured data for the medical endpoints. So that means we will feed the data, the captured data, we will feed the algorithms for the medical endpoints. And in that way, we would like to reuse as most as possible open available open source tools, frameworks, and so on. So we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We use and we would like also to provide the AMPL system, the CDSS AMPL system, as open source as possible, and respect the medical device regulation, because we see that as an emergent and really important point. The AMPL system should support the rule-based approaches as well as the AI-based solutions, and should also support different data source platforms. So not only it should be independent from the SAP system, but should also support Daedalus, Oracle, and so on, other solutions that are out there. Other requirements are according to the performance, scalability, security for sure. So we take care about the performance in the sense of not only providing the decision support information in hours, but it should be available in seconds or in minutes. It should be also supported that there is a limitation according to the number of medical endpoints for the algorithms. There should be no number, no limitation available, and for sure security is quite always a topic that should taken into account. And we should with this system also enhance the clinical uses in decision making, so that the people, the clinicians, can understand why this decision has been made, or what is the reason for this decision. So that means we should also show an explanation for that, even if we have an AI-based algorithm for that available, or we used an AI-based algorithm. And we should also show traceability. That means that we should show how the decision has been developed over time, and for which kind of data this decision has been provided. Next slide. This is a high-level system architecture. You can have a look on that. On the left-hand side, you see the data sources from the SAP system, from the lab information system, the LIMS. When we take this data, transform the data, prepare the data into so-called Kafka pipes. We use Kafka as a data stream processing system that takes the data online in real time and provides the data to the algorithms at the other endpoint. When we manage the input data, but also the decisions, so the output in a specific AMPL service, and can provide the information either on the visualization. We are integrated into the SAP system, but also we can provide some decisions using the mail, but also some other kind of notifications. Next slide. Some few words about Kafka. So we don't want to reinvent the wheel. Kafka is an open source framework available for data streaming, data stream processing. It offers a high performance, and it's also for scalability good. It has many adapters for many different source systems, data management systems. It reads also the transaction logs to recognize what kind of data has been changed in the data sources. Otherwise, you need to pull all the time the data sources if anything has been changed. And then we have specific topic pipes to which the data has been or will be transported. And at the end of each pipe, there's an algorithm that takes the data for a clear medical endpoint. And we also use the pipes to manage the output of algorithms later on. Next slide. We use different data sources, as I already mentioned. We have a data warehouse in front of it, so that means of AMPL system. So that means it makes the life a little bit easier for us. So all necessary data will be firstly integrated into the data warehouse. There is a specific part of a data warehouse, a so-called staging area, where all the data will be managed in real time. And from this staging area, we can also use this data, prepare the data, transform the data, and then feed the data directly to the arguments in the AMPL system. Next slide. Here, as you have probably seen, we have different kinds of AMPL models. So models or let's say algorithms for different medical endpoints. We have implemented these algorithms in AMPL system at the end of topic-specific pipelines. And the pipes then generates new message when new data arrives in the data source systems or even in the data warehouse, and then we can use this kind of data. But we are free from any kind of data management system. Any new hospital, any new small medical center can use the AMPL system with all the algorithms we offer. The only part that is necessary, of course, is to create the attachment to the data source systems. So we need to create the so-called ETL, the extraction, transfer, and loading pipelines to the Kafka pipes, and then we are ready, and then all the AMPL algorithms can be used. This is a fundamental framework for all the models we offer, and we currently implement everything in Java, but we are also want to support other programming languages in future, and we are currently working on an endpoint for different other programming languages like R and Python too. Next slide. As I already mentioned in the overview, we support different notification modes. There is, of course, a visual alarming mode that you can use on or that you can see on the web interface. Then there is also an alarm mode by email. So every time an alarm is created by the system, by the algorithms, when an email is sent out, then there's also let's say in human support that takes the phone. So if there is an alarm available, then a phone call is provided, and then the human will explain what happened and why this happened. And we are also open for other messages, other types of notifications to any device that is available for our customers. And we are also able with the alarm system to suppress alarms. So if there is an alarm, let's say noise, then we can also suppress that by patient and by case. And of course, we have logging, and then we can also use this logging information later on to further develop our algorithms, the models that we provide with the AMPL system. Some words about the visualization. There is a direct integration into the clinical workplace, so nobody needs to log in somewhere else. There we have a specific, let's say, jump point in the SAP system. As you probably know, SAP system is not quite. It's not as easy as it looks like. It looks a little bit old. Also, in the first talk, we had seen a screenshot of it. Therefore, we decided to add just a column so that we add some information for each patient, and then just by clicking on the symbol in the column for a specific patient, we provide some more information, and then we are jump out of EHR system, the clinical information system, and then we are quite free in what kind of information we provide. There are symbols according to the traffic light symbol that you probably know from the streets, and it is quite successful. So the clinicians use that visualization and also see what happened with a patient. Next slide. And an important point is the medical device regulation. This was also the point that why we get in conflict with the industry partner in our first version, AMPL version. So all the algorithms with direct impact to physicians should be fall into the medical device regulation. We see here a risk class of 2A and 2B. There are two modes that you can follow. The first is to get a certification, and the second one is a self-made development declaration that requires a cooperation with a clinical quality management department. You should, or the clinic should, create a quality management system, and in which the algorithms and the system is then documented in a specific way. So that means not only, let's say, the system is documented, the arguments are documented, but also the project should be documented in some way. And later on, also there should be some unit tests, some software tests available, integration set that shows that all the requirements in that has been raised in the project is fulfilled by some software parts, and the software is valid in some way. And we have already a blueprint available. So we started, of course, from the scratch, but later on it turned out that we can use something from a previous project because there is already a center available, the Innovation Center Computer Assisted Surgery, the ECAS Center, available at the University Hospital attached to the Leipzig University, which is very good, very qualified in the quality management or in the MDR, and we are strongly connected to the quality management department of the hospital, who built up such a quality management system with all the documentation that is available. And of course, then we should be safe for the AMPL system for the Leipzig University Hospital. Next slide. Then I hand over again to Daniel.
Yeah, to get you back into reality, I just repeat once more what we do. We get data, we compute something, and we create an output. And these steps follow the medical device regulation. It is in real time and it's fully customizable. What does it mean for the scientific field, for studies with AMPL? You have two major possibilities here. So you can use AMPL just as a real-time software for data processing. This could be the case, for example, if you want to research a very rare disease and you want to find these patients with the rare disease during admission, AMPL could screen for it, could create an alert for the study nurse, and the study nurse could then go to the patient and ask for to join the study. Another thing I already mentioned before is that the hospital information system does not save all data. So if you're interested in, for example, a special timestamp of a data constellation, AMPL can use this this basic structure it has to create data and to save data about this constellation. But the most important thing is that you are able to do an intervention to have an influence on clinical decisions in patient care, which is the unique selling point. And the most interesting thing here is here with AMPL, I can test if the AI solution helps indeed and helps the medical staff, but also has positive impact on patients. This is I would say, the most interesting thing for us. But there are plenty more other studies possible. For example, the user interface, which has an impact on clinical decisions too. Like how would you explain this AI? Which information you get additional to the decision of the AI, like a knowledge portal. All these things are now possible to research with AMPL. As I said, we have many models, but I reduced it to 2 models I want to show you today. The first is the refeeding syndrome model. Refeeding syndrome is a complication. If you have a long period of reduced food intake and then you eat suddenly normal or more than normal, then this can have severe complications. And this is not very known in the medical stuff. And so we thought maybe this could be a good use case. And indeed, we found that there is plenty space to fill with an AI model. And I say AI to rule-based too, because there's this new AI definition from the EU AI Act. And so this, even if it's only rule-based, this is now called AI, but yeah, this is not machine learning, but the second one I will show you. So this rule-based model discovered these refeeding syndrome patients in real time. And as you can see, more than half of the detected patients would have been overlooked if it hadn't detected by AMPL. And to show you or give you an idea which data goes into such a model, this is from very different sources. So we collect data from many point of views, and collect them together into one model, and can then say, oh, here, better look to this patient. And how do we do alerting here? We have an interventional team, the nutritional team in our clinic, and they get an alert so that they can go to the patient, and the rest of the patient care goes over the refeeding, the nutritional team. So the second one I already promised is a machine learning model to early detect sepsis. This is my own project, so feel free to ask. What we did was that we wanted to research if we can use routine data to early predict sepsis. And we found that already data from the complete blood count, data which is very often determined in a clinic, almost with every blood draw, is enough to filter, to screen for sepsis patients. So here on the left, you see our emergency department with 2 sepsis patients and 98 not sepsis patients. And our model is able to filter this to 1 to 10 with the basic model. And the basic model only needs these parameters on the right. So these are very often parameters for the people here who were not in that medical field. And we are, in a moment, we research to extend this model to a better one, a more specific one. And we plan to research and use this at the end of the year or start of the next year in our emergency department. So this were my 2 practical examples. And for the last slide, I give the last words to Ralf back again.
Thank you. Yeah, this is the team. As you can see here, we have different people, and as I already mentioned, there is a successful and fruitful collaboration with clinicians. So Martin is a clinician from the laboratory. Maria, Daniel are data scientists in our team, and Alexander and me are the, let's say, the technicians, the computer scientists who work on the system technically, while the others work on the algorithms and let's say steer the project. And we are open for collaborations in both phases on, let's say, on the users using the system, but also it means for the clinics, hospitals, so to take over the system, but also in the development of algorithms. So we are also looking for collaborations to work closely on the algorithms for specific medical endpoints. And yeah, that's it. And we are open for questions. I see there is one comment or question in the chat. Is it possible to transfer your system to another hospital? Perfect question. Thank you. So this is one point that we would like to strengthen in the next couple of months, so that we can also transfer the system. So the system is currently running at the University Hospital in Leipzig, but we would like to work on transferring the system to another hospital. In the first funding phase, we also had another hospital in the landscape near Leipzig, who also used the system. Right now, the system is only running at the University Hospital in Leipzig, but we would like to address this point in a collaboration. So we are very open to collaborate with hospitals to transfer the system to another site for sure. Yeah. Any other questions? So if this is not the case, then we come to a last point. And for the last point today, I would like to open the floor to my friend Adamantias Kumpis from the University Hospital in Cologne, who will talk something about the opportunities for collaboration, uptake, and some closing remarks. Adamantias.
I will be very brief. Many thanks, first of all, Toral, for hosting and organizing this demo day in Leipzig. It's a pity that we don't have it physical in Leipzig, but same like the day that we had in Cologne, it's much easier for people to attend and it's much more efficient also. I will be very brief, so I know we have 6 minutes till 12 o'clock and I plan to not make it last longer. The idea of the demo days is not to have people presenting ideas or presenting fiction stories about future proposals, but the idea is to show tangible, real things that can be demonstrated, shared, and then use this as an opportunity to build, hopefully and potentially, successful proposals for funding. This is the idea in ShiftHub, and this is what we are aiming for. And though the main focus is about Horizon Europe and European Commission funded programs like Horizon Europe or Digital Europe, it is also possible to sustain and support funding opportunities and proposals in the context of regional or interregional programs or even of national. So this means that from our side, we will be very keen and eager to support all the follow-ups that will potentially take place after today's presentations. So be it for MyScribe or for Ampel or for Pure80 or for Goya Health, our idea is that we will not only welcome people who are interested in seeing how we can work together, but also from our side to see there which opportunities we can make use of. For instance, I will only mention that Ampel can be used as a basis for further deployment, but one might also see this as a basis for potential research infrastructures, bringing them together for supporting clinical research. So there we can have a big space for exploring ideas, but we have as starting point tangible things that all of them, they can show a technology readiness level that is above 4 and below 8 or 9, which means that it is the ideal setting for organizing collaborations and helping people come together. So these were my few words. Again, many thanks to all participants and the panelists. And Gabriele, I think that you have a request about presenters sending the slides so that you can also put them in the platform. So the final words for this event are with Gabriele. And many thanks for organizing this from the European SME Alliance to organize this second demo day in Leipzig today.
Thank you very much, Adamantius. Thank you for all who managed to connect today. Thank you especially to the speakers and the very interesting demos that you showed today. For the speakers, if you want to share some material, slides, links, or anything else, we will host everything together with the recording of the event on the event page. And also all the attendees will receive all the meaningful links to your projects and demos slides. So it will be a repository on the event page. Thanks again to everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Gabriele.
Many thanks again.